Okay. Welcome to the Graffiti Jungle. Paulo Pulimwe. Benvenuti nella giungla dei graffiti. Questo è Impastore Rockstar. It's a fake rockstar chat show. Pensieri Tangentiali. Formerly known as Tangential Thought Chat Show. Shout out to Dog Bay. They got a dog named I on this show. Which show we talk about? Hold on. It's Cowboy Bebop. We got a podcast. We had 10 sessions today. We had 50 in a week, 366 for the year, and we had 26 within one day this week. So yes, that was cool. We worked on the podcast. That was pretty good. Sono to a copy of Sono, Chief Gihareh. Okay. Cowboy Bebop. So I've only seen 23 sessions. I have session 24, 25, and 26. I'm just gonna pick and choose a day and time, whatever. But I watched the first 12 minutes of the Cowboy Bebop movie. So just little quick points and reactions. These are little things I appreciate about it. So I only took, first of all, right off the bat, looks way cleaner. Like, so I think it came out in like 98, 99. This only has 26 sessions, 26 sessions. So the movie came out, I guess, 2 years after. I just noticed that's 2001. So it looks cleaner, crisper. That's just one thing right there. It looks a lot cleaner and crisper from the show. And the only thing, I'm just going to show these two. These are the only things I have to show from here. This, if you see this scene, right? And then there's some, conversation and whatnot. And then I'm going to show you this scene. So, same scene, right? This would be what? Like this lateral view. And then this would be like an aerial up top view. Those are the things I talk about. Those are the things I appreciate, right? Those are the things I appreciate. For a cartoon. And that was one thing I noticed about when I watched the original show. It was, the level of detail, attention to detail, to certain things just to make it give a certain vibe or a feel. And so this one's Cowboy Bebop the movie. It starts off similar to, like, so again, Cowboy Bebop had for the most part, like a kind of sort of format or whatever. Like, and so when you first start watching this, you gotta kind of get used to like what's going on. Now, some of them, not all of them did this, but some of them. You know what I'm saying? So this one, like, just how, for the most part, most of the episodes or shows, something's going on. It's gonna be a shootout or somewhere in the beginning, some type of, there's a precedence of, in the beginning, there's some type of like drama, If it's wherever it's at, casino, if it's a casino, a restaurant, bar, shop, do whatever. This one just on the airplane. It's always just something in the beginning, right? And that kind of sets up the precedence for, well, they got to go get, he called you a cowboy. Just a good old bounty hunter. They always set the precedence for like the bounty in the beginning. The spaceship, it's just so many places. So this one starts off like the vibe way out well of how Bebop originally started off. There's a whole little jam in the beginning. Because it used to be, it's going to be a shootout in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So it starts off that way. The guy, well, it's a group of them actually. Well, it actually starts off like I don't know if Spike is dreaming or something. He's talking about somebody who only used to, he only plays the game and he never found somebody to play with or something like that. He starts off like that. Then, I'm not sure they wake up or whatever. Then they're outside this grocery store and there's a group of guys holding up the grocery store. Jet tells Spike there's three of them. And so they get in there. He takes out the guy, Spike. He was like, Jet's like, I'm going around back. Spike's like, all right. Spike takes out the guy at the front. Then, just as smooth as he can be. He takes out the guy at the front. Then gets in there. Now the guy, so the thing is, he's like, oh goodness, another preacher with a or something. So the guy's like, the guy who is, mind you, it's a group of them, but the one that's at the front with the register that needs to be getting the money, he's in no rush. He's just sitting there talking to the lady with the gun pointed at her. And he was like, you know what makes it? So mind you, I had to find this in a couple. The first time I clicked it, it was in Japanese. But the Japanese and the subtitles weren't matching up. One was faster or slower than the other, and I was like, and basically I think the one was faster than another. I think the subtitles was faster. So I'd be reading the subtitles and then it would say it later. So I'm like, okay, this one's off. So then I came back and watched the other one. Now my other one I'm watching, it's in English. So that was it was my first time seeing it in Japanese. I didn't mind it, but the subtitles were off. They wasn't matching up. So this time I'm watching it in English, and now the subtitles are just off. So I'm trying to ignore the subtitles. So that's one thing. The guy, he's talking to the lady. He says something about stew or something. He was like, what makes it a stew or whatever? He was like, it can have curry, it can have goat, it can have this steak and this and that third. But he's like, what makes it? And because he was like, what makes it something like a stew or whatever? She was like, the meat. He was like, no, they all can have this. Whatever makes it a stew. Something like that. He's sitting here talking, but he needs to get the money. So there's that. He's sitting there talking, but he needs to get the money. Then Spike comes in, and he was like, hey, you. Spike, how much is this? Throw that in his face. Woo. Takes him out. Then the other guys there, just moving around, get them out. Jet comes from the top of the, whatchamacallit. All right. So they take out those guys. And then another guy comes out the bathroom. He's like, you said there was only 3. There's 4. Then he said something, I don't want to hear about none of that. And then, so this is actually the scene I just showed with the old lady. The guy was like, I'm going to take out this old lady. You better I'm going to take her out. I don't know this lady. Take her out. This is a risk we playing. I ain't know. We ain't necessarily good guys. We ain't no cops. So that was the whole thing. Cause that was scared of the old lady. She's been held hostage. He like, I don't know that lady. Go and take her out. So there was that. Then that's how it started. And then Cowboy Bebop has this little intro. So for the intro this time, again, like I said, it looks really good. There's definitely a clear upgrade in the animation. That was one. But the intro was, what's the intro? The intro was, the best way I can kind of sort of describe it, it would seem like as if you were taking different scenes from New York. Let's say, if you ever seen any type of video like that where it's just like, if you were to just capture different people in New York, right? So it was one of those type of things. It was one of those. Let me put this here. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy. Now, I was also a little bit iffy about watching it because I'm like, yo, I'm a little bit sleepy. Cowboy Bebop movie. I was like, I'm a little bit sleepy, but I was like, let me just try to give it at least a little bit. So, ouch. So it does that part in the beginning. They basically apprehend all the people, and then it goes into his intro. And the intro, the best way I can now describe it is like, again, if you saw, like, if you put together like little random clips of people in New York, in different parts of New York, basketball, walking, sitting down, anything, yawning, eating hot dogs, all that stuff. Like, it's just mad little random clips. That's what it like feels like. So they're in their little vlog wave, and then it gets to uh, then it gets to Spike and Jet playing a game. However that game is supposed to be played. Spike ain't taking it that serious, and it's almost like chess. And you got Jet saying, "You're supposed to think about, not move on impulse. You're supposed to think 100 steps ahead." Da da da. Woo, woo. So, and then Ein, the dog, comes up and makes a move, and Jet's like, "I want to make that move. That's the move I want to make." So then there's that, and then you got Ein. And then I was like, I'm watching it, like, okay, where's Faye? Where's Faye at? Edward then pops up, and he talks to Faye. And Faye is, I guess, assuming going after another bounty. Edward sends it over, and so Faye is coming through on her little ship. Now, things that kind of like, I just kind of like noticed. The other day I watched a video, and it was like flying car in like China or Japan or something. It's a flying car, right? But it just looks like, the flying car looks like a mini drone or a mini helicopter. So right now in 2025, China and Japan have like mini helicopters, mini drones. It's only like one or two seats for one or two people, but they call it like they call it a flying car. And the reason I say that is because just sitting here and watching it, Faye was flying over top of the cars, like that close to the cars and whatnot. Because one thing about the little mini flying drones is, not mini flying drones, but these flying cars, they're supposed to be at a certain altitude and this and the third. And so it was interesting to see, like in Bebop, like Faye is flying over the highway, like that close to the cars, but we're about to. I mean, China's doing it. China and Japan is already doing it. They already have flying cars, and so it kind of looks like that. And it's like getting close to that. Mind you, this is always something that came out in before 1999, 88, 1998, 98, 99, and this movie is 2004. So that was something I noticed. So the little suspect on this one, whatever Edward sent over didn't match up who ended up getting out this truck. And so Faye is looking at the person, and she's like, okay, this not matching up, this not right. But the person like walks, and then the truck blows up. And then the person like looks in her direction, and then like makes a jump. And so Faye goes to look, and the person is like vanished. So that's the first 12 minutes. That's the first 12 minutes of Cowboy Bebop. The movie, Cowboy Bebop, the